evening, everybody. My name is John Cowart. I want to thank the Columbia County GOP Committee for inviting me here tonight. I also want to recognize and thank my wife, Amanda, for coming with me tonight. We brought our new campaign manager with us, and on the way over, she said, "You seem a bit nervous." And I said, "Well, a little bit." She goes, "What do you mean nervous? You've been a cop. You've been to Iraq and Afghanistan as a Marine. You've been on the campaign trail for a couple of months. What is there to make you nervous over here?" And I said, "College professors." Is college professors the only thing that can still, after all these years at the age of 41, make me worry that maybe at the end here, after my 5 minutes, I'm going to return to my table and find one of my brochures or bios with a big red F on it, or lines underscored with red ink. But seriously, it is great to be here at SAU, a wonderful institution, part of the fabric of South Arkansas, where I grew up, born and raised here over in Texarkana. And I'm here to tell you tonight that I'm excited that especially we're having this meeting in April, because April is a very important month in the history of this country. It's the month during which our Civil War ended. It's also the month in which our Revolutionary War really began. And sometimes we look at how big and powerful our country has become and think that maybe the concept or the results of that war were a foregone conclusion, but they were anything but that. When in April of 1775, those guys went out onto the greens at Lexington and Concord and fought the most powerful army in the world. They didn't have a pre-plan for victory. They just knew that they were in a situation where they had to either submit or fight. And that is what we have to do now. We can either submit to horrendous legislation like Obamacare and to the absurd regulations that keep us from using our own energy, or we can fight. And thank God our forefathers put in place a system that allows us to fight politically. And we're going to do just that this year. We're going to fight politically against a very powerful foe, though. It's not a foregone conclusion that Obama is going to lose this next election. He is out there and he has a powerful base of support, a base of support whose philosophy goes all the way back to the time of our revolution here in America. Because you see what we did, what America did when we overturned, when we beat the British monarchy. We started a chain of events, and monarchies across Europe fell. Here in America, when we were given freedom and liberty, we prospered. Our people flourished. Life expectancy became extended. People became inventive and creative, and all kinds of wonderful things happened. But America is exceptional. So when we introduced liberty here, people flourished. But in Europe, a lot of people became worried, and they asked what to do. And so what they did was come up with a philosophy or a doctrine called secular humanism. And this secular humanism is the doctrine that underpins the liberal progressive philosophies of today. It's a philosophy that it denies the existence of God and says that mankind is a creature that has been perfected through a process of evolution from a single-celled organism. But conservatives are more humble about our origins, and we're more humble about human nature. You see, we don't believe that humans can create a utopia, even though we have a president who believes just the opposite. He thinks that humans can create utopia. We believe, but many of us do, whatever our exact faith is, we believe that God is preparing a utopia for us. Obama thinks that he can prepare a utopia for us. But we know that's not true. But that's how he excuses himself to do the things that he does. So we have to remember as we go into this year that there's all kinds of Americans out there from different groups, some of whom may have considered themselves part of a group that voted as a bloc before. And now is a great year for us to go out there and explain to them the difference and explain to them, many of whom have the same sort of beliefs that we do, what the origins of the liberal progressive philosophy is and how it is rooted in liberal secular humanism. But we in Arkansas generally are people of faith. And we have humility about what mankind can accomplish. And so we have a system of government that we admit is not perfect, but it is the most perfect thing that mankind has ever tried to use in order to govern themselves. So remember that as you go out and talk to people this year, that this is a time for us to convert people and pull them from that blue team over to the red team. And that's how we're going to get rid of this president, and that's how we're going to put a Republican in the U.S. Congress representing the 4th Congressional District. Again, on May 22nd, I hope you know that whoever comes out of that, of these 3 candidates that are sitting over here at this table, the other 2 are going to get behind them. Until then, my name is John Cowart, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you.